Hello, everybody. Welcome to Run and Code Humor in South Texas Law Enforcement. I'm your host, T-Bone, with my partner, who's always got my back, J-Man.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So, hell of a week. Busy week. I mentioned the last one, I got promoted. So, my paycheck's nicer. My workload is a lot worse now. So, I'm not a happy camper. I'm still in traffic.
Yep.
I just promoted to detective, but I'm still in traffic.
There you go.
I'm hoping to get orders and get the hell out. I need a break. But I'm not going to get a big break. It's going to be much worse.
Well, you never know. I mean, you never know how the pendulum could swing in that way.
That's true. So I think the positivity was the nice, much bigger paycheck and the really nice overtime rate. So I'm trying to find the positive. Trying to find the funny and the positive.
Yeah.
But today, we're going to talk about and educate the public at the same time. Hopefully you find the funny. Cop habits.
Yeah, because we have a whole bunch of them.
We do, because it becomes ingrained in what we do for a living that you carry them off duty everywhere you go. Just a great example is I will not sit with my back to a door in any restaurant I go to. If I'm sitting down to eat, coffee shop, restaurant, my back is to the wall and I'm watching the door. And that's because we've worked robberies, burglaries, we see people get assaulted at restaurants, come in and hit them in the back of the head while they're eating, and we get recognized off duty sometimes, even not in uniform. We'll get recognized. And that's the dude we put in prison or jail, and he's pissed off. And criminals don't have the greatest impulse control.
Yeah. Well,
and they stab you in the back of the head, and people think we're making this shit up. It happens.
Yeah, no, it does.
So I don't sit my back to a door ever. And it drives everyone I have dinner with. And if it's a bunch of cops, we're all going to fight for the seats against the wall.
Yeah, I know it sucks because you feel like the odd man out when you're sitting with your back to the door. You don't even eat comfortably.
What I tell the guy across me is, if I tell you duck, you better be ducking. So that's just one example of a habit that follows us off duty.
Yep.
Driving. I don't drive. I still drive like I'm on duty. What I mean by that is I'm still watching cars. I'm still clocking speeds in my head. I'm still looking at license plates. I'm still looking at registration. I'm looking at burned out taillights, improper turns, not signaling, texting. And if I see a car that normally, if I was on duty, I'd be hitting the lights. I'm reaching down to turn on the light bar that doesn't exist in my personal car. And I'm trying to turn it on and going, oh, damn it, that's right, I'm off duty. It doesn't turn off because you do it for so long. It's an ingrained behavior.
Yeah.
But the plus side of that is, what's funny is we talked in the last episode about fleet crashes. Mm-hmm. But cops getting far less crashes in their personal cars than the regular citizens do.
Yeah.
So I don't know why. But we do tend to drive more cautious, though. We recognize dangerous driving behaviors in other people, apparently not in ourselves, but we recognize them in other people faster than anyone else. So we're already backing off and moving away from the situation that a civilian might not realize till they're right up on it and they can't get out of it. So yeah, you're still driving like you're on duty. You're paying attention to cars around you, registration, smashed windshields, all that. You're paying attention to it and you're watching it. And you want to reach to the bar, you want to reach to the radio, and you're like, oh, I don't have one in my personal car.
Yeah, I do that with temp tags.
Yeah.
I don't know, like,
because that's my bread and butter. I got a great one the other day too. Oh, it was beautiful. One pair of handcuffs later, off we go.
Oh man!
And his uncle was, and his son-in-law, was one of. He's one of us.
Oh.
And he called me. I'm like, yeah, sorry, no, can't help. That was a felony. Nope, can't help. Sorry. He made his choice. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah, at the end of the day, that's it.
With the cutting brakes on a ticket is one thing. Cutting brakes on a felony is something else entirely. It's not going to happen.
Yeah,
sorry,
not at all.
I can't leave the house. If I'm leaving the house to go anywhere other than, like, I might not take my gun if I'm going to, like, my best buddy's house right around the corner. Mm-hmm. Probably not going to need it there, and it's like a mile.
Yeah.
But if I'm going anywhere else, I have to have my gun on me. I feel naked without my gun on my badge. Like, I feel like that'll be the day that something happens right in front of me that I legally can't ignore, and I've got no weapon.
Yeah.
What am I going to point at them? My fingers? Finger guns? Hope for the best? So, yeah, I can't.
I want to say, too, just, I guess just like the situational awareness, ours is just a little bit more, why it looks like we're being like paranoid, but we're really not. Like, it's kind of hard to, I guess, for me to explain, but I can just see how if I'm around people who aren't law enforcement, it can just be like so carefree and just I'm like, oh, they're not really paying attention to their surroundings. Not me.
They don't.
Not me.
The average public does not pay attention to what goes on around them. You watch them drive, they are tunnel visioned down the highway, or if they're not on their phone.
Yeah.
Cops are always looking around. Their heads are always moving. We're always paying attention to anybody watching us. Anybody starts watching us, we're watching them especially. We don't know why you're staring at us so hard. We're going to find out by watching you.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you watching me?
Yeah.
We don't care. The average human does not like eye contact.
Yeah, we make a lot of
eye contact.
That's another thing I do too.
If it makes you uncomfortable, you'll look away first.
Yeah.
And we can read your eyes. Like, okay, you mean me harm if you had the chance. So I'm watching you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when under the door, you don't see them unholstering your gun. It goes under the door like this where they can't see it, but it's there. The average person doesn't, though, if you watch, and especially women. And I'm not knocking women. I'm not knocking. Ladies, I love you. I'm not knocking you. But when you're walking out of a grocery store or a mall or a shopping center at night or even daytime, put your phone away and walk and pay attention to what's going on around you. Look at who's looking at you and paying attention to you, maybe more than just checking you out. There's a difference between some guy just checking you out because you're pretty and some guy checking you out because he means you harm. Pay attention. Put your phone down. Have your keys in your hand. Get in your car and lock the door.
Yeah.
Do not get back out of your car. If you see a flyer in your windshield, leave it there. Drive off. Deal with it when you get home.
Oh, yeah.
Don't get out and go, what's this? That van right next to you slings that door open, snatches you in, and away you go. You're gone. Takes 30 seconds, and probably no one even saw it happen because they were on their phones.
Yep.
So they didn't have a chance to look at it. So pay attention. Look around you. Most of your problems can be solved if you just pay attention to what goes on around you. Predators ignore victims who pay attention to them.
Mm-hmm.
If you start watching somebody, he's going to go look for another target that's not paying attention to him. Because then you run screaming, and now you're drawing attention to yourself. Yeah. Because everyone's going to look at the sound of a woman screaming. Everyone is immediately going to look. So now they might see him. So he's blown his opportunity. So if you're walking around and you're paying attention, you're alert, he's going to leave you alone. He's going to go find easy prey somewhere else. He's going to leave you alone. So please, pay attention. But cops do this naturally because of what we do for a living.
Yeah.
8, 10, 12-hour shifts, whatever it might be. You're on high vigilance the entire shift. Mm-hmm. So you can't really turn that off duty because danger is everywhere around you. And as cops, we know this more than anyone else. The danger is always around you. You got to pay attention to it or it can cost you. You become the next victim because cops can and have been victims. Yeah. Even off duty. Yeah. Cops have been robbed, assaulted. It happens. I mean, they don't realize we're cops. They're not paying attention or... Some turds can tell a cop a mile away, even off duty. I get it every now and then at gas stations. Oh, thank you, officer. The fuck?
Yeah, so that's another thing, too. There's two things I want to touch on. So, cops being victims. While, to me, it's funny because, number one, the officer wasn't hurt. Number two, she warned this dude before she gave him a couple of holes. So, this was out in Chicago. It's a female officer. She was handling the situation off duty. She's in civvies. And a turd walking by, obviously you can tell she's a cop. I think she was displaying her badge and her gun. So he tries to take the gun from her. And while the two are wrestling for the gun, she's like, I'm going to shoot you. I'm going to kill you. And he's saying whatever. She's like, all right, watch this. And you're blah, blah, blah. He's like, all right, I'm done. Damn, you wasn't playing. You shot me.
No, too late.
Well, no shit. She told you.
She warned you.
Of all people, a Chicago cop, that's really about the business.
Yeah, I wouldn't try that with...
That, to me, was funny. It just, how cops can...
It's not funny that she had to shoot somebody.
It's funny that...
But it's funny that she had to warn the guy, and he didn't listen until she shot him, and then all of a sudden it's a problem.
Yeah, then he gets shot. He's like, all right, I'm sorry. Damn, you really shot me. He literally said that. Damn, you really shot me.
I guess he thought she was playing.
I guess she really thought he...
So for the public that doesn't know that, you put your hands on a cop's gun, there are no more rules.
I don't care.
I can stab you in the eye. I can tear off one of your testicles. I can break your jaw, your neck. Whatever gets you off my gun, I can use. So if you get killed, you're not a victim of anything but your own stupidity for trying to grab an officer's gun.
I don't care whatever state you're in, whomever your DA may be,
that's U.S.
whatever
wide.
Jurisdiction.
That's U.S.
You
wide.
grab any weapon on an officer's belt, felony offense, right off the board, and that is justifiable for us to use whatever means to prevent the criminal from happening.
Including deadly. You grab my baton, you grab my taser, you grab one of my knives, I'm going to pull my gun. Yeah. And I'm going to put 3 holes in you.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be like, well... Because those weapons' job is to incapacitate.
Yeah.
So he incapacitates me. Now he has my radio, my gun, and he could end up killing me if I'm not already dead. No, sorry. You signed your own death warrant the minute you grabbed my gun. You just signed your own death warrant. Sorry. Not sorry, but I have family. I have loved ones. I'm going home.
And that was good situational awareness. Just had she had not been an officer, could have went a different way. Mm-hmm. Don't know that. But generally, police officers, sheriff's deputies, what have you, law enforcement, we just typically have better situational awareness. It's just because all day we're just hyper vigilant all day long.
And that doesn't really shut off very easily. And that's why, so for spouses or significant others of law enforcement officers, please bear in mind that if he comes home and he's not quite cuddly immediately and he's not quite chatty immediately, sometimes he's got to decompress from the hypervigilance into his safe space. So everybody has a safe space. Now, I don't mean a college room where you go hide from the professor because he gave you a B instead of an A because it hurt your feelings that he graded your papers so roughly.
That could be stressful.
For us, the entire world outside of our house is a dangerous place because of what we do for a living. So our house may be our safe place where we feel we can let down our guard. We don't have to worry about being hurt or attacked in our own safe space. So we get to that safe space, which for us is usually home. We need a little bit to decompress. We need a little bit to come down, and we need a little bit to bring down our heart rate and our hypervigilance and kind of reintegrate back into being a family. And that's why it's actually helpful to have long commutes from the substation home.
Yeah.
Gives you time to jam out to the music, wash all that off from the day, just throw it out the door. By the time you pull in the driveway, maybe you're mellow.
Yeah.
That's what I used to do. I used to crank up the rock. Now, if I had a really crappy day, that's when you drive home with the radio off and the windows down, just like, good God, that was a horrible day. And I've had days like that where you drive home with the windows down and the radio off.
Oh, yeah.
Just going, mother of God, what did I get into today? But we need time to let down that hypervigilance. We need time to bring down that awareness that we've got so that we can function as a normal spouse, husband, wife, brother, sister, whatever it might be. Mm-hmm. It's just you need that minute. So I get it. The spouses that misses us when we walk in the door and they want to hug us and talk to us and been gone all day and they try to text you and you've been busy, so I haven't really been able to talk to you, and they want to go 100 miles an hour. And I get that. We appreciate that. We understand that. But you got to understand we need a minute before we just dive right into that.
Yeah.
And it could be too, like we've been surrounded a dead body for most of the day. We need to immediately get out of our uniform because we can smell the death. And we don't really want to bring that home. We want to get out of this uniform as fast as we can and transition into home life.
Yeah.
Now I'm dad, husband, wife, whatever, mother, whatever it might be. Some things you don't want to bring home to our families. Some things you don't want to bring home. Mm-hmm. So that's another one. I always have to have on me at all times my credentials, my gun, my badge, a functioning watch, a practical one. I just have to have those items. I always have to have those items on me. Even off duty. I have to have them. They're a part of me now that will never go away. And I worked plainclothes for a while when I was in TAG, and we had those things on us too. They were just hidden, but we still had them. So they were part of your uniform. So I might be wearing boots and jeans and a t-shirt and a backwards cap and a grungy beard, but I still got my gun, my badge, my credentials, everything's still on me. Because I'm still law enforcement. The only thing, you might not be able to see my radio, or I might not have it. If I got backup behind me, they might have a radio and I don't.
Yeah.
Because they're watching my back for me. And here's hoping I don't have to chase somebody and now I'm on foot with no radio. I got a cell phone, whip it out, and call 911 while you're running and tell them who you are, and they'll relay it. You'll have 10-second delays while they relay everything, but yeah, they'll get the message eventually.
Yeah.
Knowing where you're at all times.
Yeah,
I can't drive without knowing exactly where I'm at, what cross street I just passed,
what
cars are around me.
I'm always looking at street signs.
Yeah, what cars are around me.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't go away.
And planning routes of escape.
Yes.
I found myself doing that too a lot. Yep. Like I go into a restaurant. If I don't sometimes you're always going to get that table that sits best like where you want it, but I'm already planning my exit routes.
Yep.
Do you same thing in a movie theater?
Mm-hmm.
Like especially in a movie theater, I got to get the furthest back row that I can.
That's where I sit.
And I got to be right in the corner. I'm never sitting in the front of a theater ever. And just because as a child I've had bad experiences, people like to throw stuff from the top. But yeah, it's just something that's been just extrapolated upon since I've been in this career field.
I don't like to sit in the front because everybody's going to, if there's a fire, if it's a fire, they're all going to mob the exit, or a shooting, they're all going to mob the exit at one time. You're going to get crushed.
Yeah.
You're up at the very top. If it's somebody shooting, you have vantage right down on them.
Yep.
You can stop it.
Yep.
If it's a fire, depending on where it's at, you may be safer where you're at.
Yeah.
Than where they're going, because they're all just going to stomp each other and smash each other. But we don't realize you can. This is why it's illegal to yell fire in a crowded theater when there's no fire, because people are going to get crushed by other people trying to get out of the way. They're going to stomp on people. People don't realize how much damage that does to the human body to be crushed by people as they're running over them.
Oh yeah,
it actually you can easily kill them or you suffocate them.
Yeah, all
that weight on top of them, they can't get a breath, and you just keep decompressing or compressing the diaphragm until they can't breathe anymore. They die. So that's why it's illegal. Yeah, you have the First Amendment right to say anything you want within reason.
Yeah.
There are limits. That's one of them. So you always sit in the very, 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 very far back row. I can see the entire theater, and I can see the screen just fine, and I got no one behind me either. Yeah. That's where I sit every time. And ever since COVID, I've never had a problem getting to sit all the way back up there in any movie I've watched. There's nobody in theaters. I went to see a movie a while back, and it was me and my bud went to see Top Gun 2. We've been talking about seeing it for years, waiting for it, and finally came out. There was nobody in the theater but us. We were the only two in the entire theater. It was fantastic. Nobody cared if I was on my phone. Nobody cared if we were talking during the movie. No one gave a shit. It was fantastic. I remember before COVID, sometimes you couldn't even find a seat.
Yeah, no.
Now, never had a problem since. Of course, Hollywood's gone to shit since COVID. I mean, haven't had that many great movies since COVID. I can maybe name 4 good movies, but TV improved.
Yes, it did.
It's the weirdest thing.
It did.
Like the shows on Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon all got really good, but movies went to crap. It's just the weirdest thing. And then this whole Screen Actors Guild strike where they're going on strike, so don't have a lot of great movies out.
No, because, all the writers, they're like, hey, we deserve more compensation than those picky directors and producers. Maybe you should just pay the money.
Let's just pay the money. You're going to get the money back. If you get a hit, you're going to get the money back. But you know what? I couldn't live in Hollywood. I couldn't deal with that crap. I feel bad for the officers in L.A. who are assigned the Hollywood Division, because there's 2 divisions in the Hollywood Division. One is the actual Hollywood Patrol Division, and then there's the actual division that deals with all the studios. They're the ones that shut down the roads for studios, where they can film
Makes sense.
Buildings. That can't be an easy job, dealing with some directors, some producers, some actor or actress who thinks they're better than everyone else. That would drive me up the wall. I'd rather work in Inglewood, South Central, Rampart than deal with that. At least with a shithead, you know where you stand with them. Conversations are usually fairly short, and you know where you stand.
Yeah.
You get some producer that you took off, but he knows the chief of police. He's good friends with the chief of police because he's had him over to his house, get that good politicking. Yeah, Officer so-and-so was a real asshole, and
now all of a sudden you're in the
now you're in like the worst part of town on foot patrol.
Yeah.
Not even getting a car. Because you ticked off the wrong person.
Yeah.
Now, we've talked about politics before in this show.
Yes.
And it exists in any agency. In any agency in law enforcement, there's politics. Some are better than others. Like state polices usually don't have the same political turmoil in terms of dealing with the local population, because you don't work for anyone there. You work for the director of that agency, or director of your whole agency, usually in the capital.
Yeah.
But county mounties, city kiddies, sorry, city guys, they have a lot more politics to worry about. Yeah. Someone knows the chief, someone knows the sheriff, someone knows your deputy chief, and someone knows your sergeant personally because they're best friends, and on and on. And I heard on traffic stops, do you know Deputy so-and-so? Do you know Lieutenant so-and-so? And I tell them no. Or, yeah, but don't bother calling them. Yeah, I'm not going to remove the ticket. I'm sorry. It was you, not them. Do we give each other tickets? I have given law enforcement officers tickets, and I have been given tickets by law enforcement.
Yeah.
I earned the ones I got. Couldn't say a damn word. You got me. Just go pay my ticket. Call today. Was I ticked? Well, of course I was. Like anyone else would be too. Civilian or law enforcement. But I went and paid the ticket. I didn't complain about it or cry. You got me. It is what it is. So have I stroked officers? I have. Was I thrilled doing it? No. But their driving was so extraordinarily dangerous that I just didn't have a choice but to deal with it. or their attitude was so piss poor that they're holding their badge out the window as I'm walking up to the car. Well, now you kind of push me into a corner because the public just saw you holding a badge out the window, and they're just going to assume you're getting a warning.
Well, you didn't know what that officer was doing. So what you're supposed to do is supposed to take out your badge, and then the sunbeam hits from his badge, the sunbeam hits to your badge, and
twin powers activated.
Oh, man, he just
sorry, no. And sadly, I've had to arrest officers. I've arrested 4 cops, and it sucks. But it is what it is, and the days of us letting that go are long gone.
Yeah,
because I'm not joining you in the next cell because I didn't do my duty, or I'm not getting fired and now working at Walmart because I didn't do my duty. You put yourself there. I didn't.
Yeah.
So officers, we observe and report and react. We don't make this crap up. We don't have to. We just see it and address it, or we get called and address it. Mm-hmm. We don't just drive around going, I'm going to stop by this guy's house, knock on the door, and see if he's hitting his wife. No. She calls, or the neighbor calls, and we show up and we deal with it. And then just because you're an officer doesn't mean you're walking away from family violence. Sorry. You made a choice. You could have gone outside and sat down. You could have gotten your car and gone for a drive. Yeah. You chose to stay there, smack your old lady. She called and the neighbors called. Now guess what? Your badge will not save you.
Yeah.
In fact, your badge is going to screw you twice as hard as it's going to be a civilian. Mm-hmm. Because not only are you going to be fired, you're going to be put on the news and publicly barbecued for family violence, which just gives another black eye to law enforcement. See, they all beat their wives. That's not true. I think the rate in law enforcement is probably the same as any other damn job on the planet. Mm-hmm. You just hear about law enforcement. So automatically they think it's always happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Only when it's bad. It's never when it's good. Never this officer ran to a burning house and saved 2 children. We had one of our deputies do that. Media never said a word. And he ran to a fully engulfed home and rescued 2 children before the fire department got there.
It's not sensational.
Never made the news. But I guarantee that officer would have punched somebody in handcuffs. That would have made national news. And there would have been riots. He'd have been fired. He'd have been barbecued publicly. His trial would have been public. I mean, the whole smash. Because the public doesn't care what officers do right. They expect you to do that. Yeah. That's your job. You're superhuman. You don't make mistakes. Well, we're human. We make mistakes like anybody else. Mm-hmm. It's just they publicly show our mistakes. They publicly acknowledge ours. And then you'll have your chief or your sheriff with a picture of you on a podium going, this officer, this deputy, this trooper, whatever, did X, Y, Z. Yeah. And we fired him, and he's going to face charges, and his career's over, and he's vilified and dishonored. And so if you wonder why we're not always so friendly and outgoing, that's why.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Yeah, that could be that's just a common trait too. Just I don't want to call it standoffish, but
I'll call it standoffish because it's exactly what it is.
I guess cautious.
We're cautious who we make friends with.
Yeah,
because you are known by the company you keep. Mm-hmm. So when I have ran into on the rare occasion cops hanging out off duty with real turds, definitely makes me more cautious around that officer.
Yeah. Because
I don't want to be associated with him because when he goes down, I don't want to be like, oh, he was his friend too and hung out with him. No, I didn't. No, I did not. Cops are like parolees in this sense. We're not supposed to hang out with felons, gang members. We're not supposed to. We're cops. We chose our side.
Even if they're childhood friends. Yeah.
Even if they're childhood friends. Sorry. They're on one side of the line and you're on the other. And if you don't want to be on that side of the line anymore, turn in your badge and gun and go hang out with them.
Yeah.
But while you're a cop, there's no hanging out with felons and sex offenders and gang members. And you're not supposed to. Sorry. It is what it is. You made your choice. You picked your side.
Yeah.
And it's nothing. I can tolerate a criminal because he's a criminal. He doesn't pretend to be anything else. But I do not tolerate crooked cops.
Yeah, because they're the worst.
You took an oath, the same oath I did, but you dishonored yours and made us all look bad. Mm-hmm. And it erodes the public trust.
Yeah.
I am an asshole. I'm a known asshole. I mean, I tell people I'm an asshole, and they tell me, oh, yeah, right. Okay, just wait. But I've never been accused of having no integrity. I've never been accused of lying. And never been accused of being a coward. So I can live with that. Mm-hmm. But as far as being friendly, no one who knows me has ever said I'm friendly. No one who knows me has ever said, oh, he's the nicest guy ever. They will tell you, no, he's an asshole. And I told him at my funeral, don't you be up there on the podium going, no, he's the nicest guy ever, because I will come back from the dead to call you a liar in front of everybody.
Folks, I'll do that. At his funeral, like, he's the nicest man ever. He donated to 12 charities. He raised a box full of kittens into full-grown cats.
That I did. Even adopted a couple dogs. Because I like animals, not people. If you do that at my funeral, I'm going to come back to life and haunt you for that one. Because I am not. But I don't get called a liar. I don't get called a coward. Yeah. I've never been called lazy. So I can live with those three. Mm-hmm. But no one will ever accuse me of being the nicest guy ever. Oh, he's so warm and cuddly. Must be talking about a different person then. Because it sure as hell ain't me. But that's my personality. Now, I don't take it out on citizens. But I'm not going to stand there and be your best bud either. Yeah. What do you need? You know, if I can solve the problem, I'll solve the problem. If you just need the shoulder to cry on, well, go find somebody else. That's not me. I'm not here to be your shoulder. What's your problem? I'll solve it. I'm out of here. I got things to do. And like you had said, people come up to you when you're trying to eat. It's annoying. If I'm in uniform and I'm at Whataburger or I'm at McDonald's or I'm at Taco Bell or I'm at a Mexican restaurant, I'm enjoying my quesadilla, fajita quesadilla, nachos, leave me alone. Okay. One, I may have to leave any second for a call. And I've had to leave my food. So I'm going to wolf that food down like it's the last food I'm going to get because it very well may be the last food I'm going to get for hours. Mm-hmm. And two, I never pass up a bathroom. Because you never know when you're going to be stuck in that 7-hour crash. And you can't pee because you're out in public and there's media on scene too. So you know where you can go to pee. Mm-hmm. And you can't leave the scene to go pee because you got to mark and measure and all that crap. So it really annoys me. And I get it. The public doesn't understand that. We're all supposed to be officer friendly. But if I'm eating and I'm wolfing down the food like I'm in prison and I'm about to get it taken away from me, and you want to come up and tell me about a crime that occurred to you in another state entirely, I'm going to cut you off and say, are you in danger right this minute? No? Then please leave me alone to eat. Now, kids are different. Kids don't understand. So when kids come up to me, I will talk to them. And I'll give them a sticker and I'll talk to them because I want them to be comfortable with me. Yeah. I want them to be comfortable with cops. I'm not going to scar them or frighten them away. But when the adults do it, I get a little agitated. And I always tell them, well, tell you what, give me your address, tell me what time you have dinner, and then I'm going to come over and ask you questions while you're eating. And you're going to get real annoyed real quick because you're trying to eat. And, oh, you're an asshole. I'm not trying to be. But common sense will tell you, leave me alone. I'm trying to eat.
Yeah, that's another habit too, eating fast.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't. I mean.
Like it's the last food we're going to get for a week.
And then there's, and just like you said, you mentioned it, holding your, like, just not being able to pee, not pee for hours. That's one thing I've learned how to do too. I can go.
Cops have steel bladders,
6-7 hours strong without, and I've had to pee the whole 7 hours.
Yep. Because you just don't have time to.
You just don't got time to pee.
What have I heard? As a cop or an old person, never trust a fart and never pass a bathroom. I think they both apply.
Yeah, they both apply. They sure do.
Nothing worse than a little shark when you're in blues on duty and you're like, son of a bitch, it's going to be a long day. Yeah. And I don't like going to public bathrooms at a gas station or a Walmart. I'd rather drive all the way to my house and just deal with it than use one of those and end up sitting on a needle.
Yeah.
Or slipping in someone else's feces.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, especially in just certain parts of town. People may say whatever they want, blah, 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 whatever. You know you're going to use the bathroom. The bathroom's going to be cleaner in the better parts of town versus the not so better part of towns.
I'll use the bathroom at the Starbucks in the rich part of town.
Yeah. It is what it is.
But if you think I'm going to the neighborhood corner store in the ghetto to use their bathroom, no. Especially the bathrooms that are on the outside of the building. Oh, hell no. I'll get hepatitis just from sitting on the toilet seat. I know women hover. We'll start hovering just as fast. I'll levitate. I'll find a bush if it's at night. I'll just drive way out to the rural area and just use a bush. I don't care. But those are just some of the things as habits that follow us as cops off duty because it's kind of ingrained behaviors. It's learned behaviors that save your life, because ultimately everything boils down to our safety. So the threat to our safety is any human's highest drive is to survive.
Mm-hmm.
So anything that even looks like it might be a threat to us, we're definitely paying attention to. So when you have your entire shift, every traffic stop, every call for service, every door you knock on could be your last.
Yeah.
That's why cops do not, I don't stand in front of doors even off duty. When I knock on a door, I still stand off the side. So if you shoot through the door, you're going to miss.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to just return fire because I have no idea what's on the side of that door. But I'm never, ever going to square off in a doorway. Mm-hmm. And I hate those long bricked, walkways up to a house. I'll knock on that door and walk right back all the way. I don't care if it's 20 feet down. And I'll just kind of have half my head sticking out. Hello. When they answer the door, how's it going? Can I talk to you for a minute? Yeah, why don't you come on out here? I want to wave in that house.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what else is in that house. I want you waving the house. Come down here and talk to me. And I make them face their house or the back of the house. I face the front of the house. So I see what's coming out the door.
Yeah.
I make them put their back to the door. Might above using you as a shield if you're a turd. Little lady, no. I'm going to move her out of the way. But if I'm talking to you and you're a straight up prison strong gangbanger, yeah, you're my shield. You chose your life. So, but listeners and now watchers, I forgot to mention that, and I'll mention that again. We hope you enjoyed the show. We hope you learned something. Please don't take offense of this because you don't understand it. And it's not that you don't understand it on purpose. It's ignorance. Ignorance does not mean stupidity. Ignorance means lack of knowledge. That's all it means. We're giving you the knowledge, though, to understand now that if you approach an officer who's eating and they don't seem like they want to have a chat with you, don't take that personal. He's not doing it to be mean. He's fully aware that radio could go off any minute and he's going to have to drop his food and go. And he may not get to eat. So he wasted the money and he didn't get to eat. And he may not get to eat the rest of the shift depending on what the call is.
Yeah.
So don't take that personal that he doesn't want to talk to you. Now, some officers are ruder about it than others. I was never particularly nice about it. I probably could have been nicer. Yeah, whatever. Lessons learned. Yeah. I'm a little more polite about it now because I have a little more time now. In the position I'm in, I don't have to respond to calls. I will still if I'm in the area, but I don't have to. So it's not quite the urgency it is for me. But a regular patrolman, he may have to leave in a minute. So don't take that personal, get mad or complain because he told you he didn't want to talk to you. He's trying to get his food and wolf it down. If you watch cops, patrolmen especially, they eat and they get out. Or they'll eat really fast, and they may hang out for a little bit, but they're going to get the food down quick. Yeah. That way, it's done. If they have to leave, now at least they got food. And that's just the realities of it. Don't take offense to these things. Ask. We have no problem asking, but there's a time and a place. If I'm on a traffic stop, don't come up to me and start asking me questions if I'm already talking to the driver and then officer, I got a question. You see I'm in the middle of something, right? How many times has that happened to you?
Few.
I'm in the middle of a traffic stop. And they come up, sir, I got a quick question. Well, I'll be with you in a minute. Yeah, all right, anyway, so here's your ticket or warning or whatever. And then you finish, all right, sir, what's your question? I had a question about where can I find whatever. I'm just like, do you have a smartphone? Yeah, pull it out and Google, whatever they ask. Oh, look, an address and a map. Have a nice day, sir. Oh, you're not going to be rude about it. Well, you asked me a very dumb question. Now, my mom always told me growing up there's no such thing as a dumb question. Being law enforcement has determined that's a lie. There are dumb questions.
There are some dumb questions I've heard.
There are some dumb questions. Not all of them, but some of them are. Common sense solves a lot of issues. So, folks, hope you enjoyed the show. Brothers, sister officers, please watch those backs. Watch your own back. Pay attention to yourself. Help each other out. This is a team sport. We are the gladiators against the lions. It is that simple. And like we said the last show, our YouTube channel's up.
Yep.
So please check it out. It's Runnin Code, and that's RUNNIN_code. That's our YouTube channel. The audios from the podcast and the videos are now up for all these shows. So please, if you like it, comment on it, share it, subscribe, show it to your friends. We want fans, we want subscribers, we want people to learn, we want people to pass it on. That's word of mouth. So if you like what you hear and you want to know more, please feel free to send us comments, questions, or concerns. Leave comments on the videos. We'll answer them. If they're inappropriate, we're going to erase them because there are kids that might watch these, and I'm not going to expose a kid to that. If you're an adult, whatever. Send us a private message. We'll answer your question. Like I said, they're not all stupid questions. So, J-Man, you got anything to
add? No, we're good.
All right. Well, from both J-Man and I here at Runnin Code, everybody have a great and safe week, and we will see you next week, and we're out of here.
All right.